What's up, Corey crew? Welcome back for another vlog. I am getting ready for the day. I'm kind of not committing to an outfit yet, hence why I'm in my big bougie robe. But we started the day out nice and early, got in a workout. Today's Memorial Day, by the way. Got in a good workout. I'm not going to show any of that footage here, but if you guys follow me on Instagram, if not, it's Kara Corey Fit Life. I am going to be posting some clips from my leg day today. It was killer. My quads have never been so shaky. It felt really, really good. But yeah, we're gonna take you through just a day of eating today. I wanted to update you. I am still doing my mini cut, even though I'm not doing like progress photos this week. Well, I'm not sharing them with you guys. I am still doing my own weekly progress photos, but I probably won't do the video progress photos every single week, but I do have a goal in mind for the end of June. So I think I'm gonna continue my mini cut till the end of June to extend it till then, and I think I'll probably reverse after that. I'm gonna see how far I get, but yeah, that's the update on that. So I'm going to make my, not really having breakfast foods today, so I'm gonna make my first meal up and I'll share it with you guys when it's all ready. Oof, perfect. How cute this avocado is. Little mini avocado from Aldi's. All right, guys, I've got my first meal made. This is my staple go-to. If you've watched my full day of eating videos before or follow me on Instagram, you know I love this meal. So you're not gonna be surprised. We have here a turkey burger that was cooked in the air fryer, serving of cauliflower gnocchi, also cooked in the air fryer, and then about 5 ounces of shredded Brussels sprouts. I like to emphasize that they are shredded because a lot of people do complain of discomfort when they eat Brussels sprouts, and something about them already being like shredded down, they just digest better in my opinion. And then I've got here some avocado, and I'm going to top my turkey burger with my man G. Hughes and his honey mustard dipping sauce. This is really, really tasty. Those can be found at Walmart. If your Walmart has them, he has a whole line of sugar-free barbecue sauces as well, which is kind of nice because, I mean, I don't always like to do the sugar-free products, but with condiments, I just prefer to not get a lot of added sugars in my diet. That way, I'd rather have my sugar naturally. So I am having a side of fresh fruit with my meal as well. I have here some fresh mango and blueberries. And I'm also just trying to be better with like the amount of fruits and vegetables I'm consuming on a daily basis. I don't know if I mentioned that on here or not, but sometimes any of us, like dietitian or not, food tastes good, and I don't always choose a meal that has a base of fruits and vegetables to it, and I do think that's really important in terms of our health and just how you look and you feel. The more nutrient-dense foods that you're eating and consuming, the better you're gonna feel. So really I'm trying to make an effort to get in enough fruits and vegetables on a daily basis, as well as drink enough water. Today is literally the most perfect Memorial Day ever. It's so beautiful out, and Jason and I are not only celebrating Memorial Day, but what else are we celebrating, Boo?
20 years together.
I know it's not possible with how young we both look, but it's true. We started dating when we were 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's how young we were.
So not married 20 years, but dating for 20 years.
And technically, like, it's not like, I don't think you ever really asked me to be your girlfriend. It's kind of like our
first kiss.
Our first kiss is when the sparks flew, and he knew I was the one.
We're watching Friends.
Yeah.
And I had to bring you to work.
Yeah.
We both worked at the same job.
You just rolled over and laid
one on her.
Laid it on me. I fell in love with this guy because he was a big goof. The biggest goofball there is. He was always making me laugh, throwing pies in my face.
You were funny too.
Mooning me.
You were super funny too.
He had really vascular forearms, apparently. I'm really into that.
You always bring that up. It's so weird.
I know, but I had a thing for your arms. They're
got
sexy.
vascular forearms.
They're sexy. They always have been.
Weirdo. They're still vascular.
We're all into our things. You guys are into my toes. Yeah.
Somebody offered Kara $80 for
so
her
much
used
money.
socks.
They've asked for more than that. Used bikinis. Don't worry, they can be unwashed. They'll write.
God, people are creepers.
I know.
People are such creepers.
Wicked creepy.
So yeah, we went to dinner last night.
Yeah. It was very nice. Had a nice little evening. And now we're going on a little zoo date, if you will.
It's called The Wild, and it's about 5 minutes from our house.
And there's truly like wild freaking animals.
They have tigers, they have lions, they have panthers. It's amazing. It's actually better than the Syracuse Zoo. And it
really is
packed like a mofo here.
I think I can park in there though. Which,
you can.
So
you
that's
can.
good.
Oh my gosh. Hide the baby.
You are beautiful, my baby.
Hello.
About to make myself a protein shake. I'm gonna have my favorite flavor, which is the espresso flavor. This is decaf for those of you that are curious, but it tastes literally just like coffee ice cream. If you like coffee ice cream, I love coffee ice cream. That's what it tastes like. It's so delicious. So I want a little pick-me-up too, so I'm gonna mix this with some cashew milk. And not a lot because it's getting like later in the afternoon, but I'm going to use some of this Starbucks medium roast cold brew coffee, maybe just like a few ounces just to like zip me up a little bit. I feel like being out in the heat and the sun my body wasn't used to, so now I'm like a little bit like too relaxed, if you know what I mean. And then to sweeten it up, we're going to add in some of these Better Stevia English toffee drops. So I'm just going to mix that up and have myself a little tasty shake. The wieners is almost done. All right, I know. Hot dogs are not healthy. I get it, they're gross, they're nasty. I went a little less nasty on the spectrum and did the uncured turkey franks from Aldi's, very fancy. But you know what, your girl likes to eat hot dogs maybe once or twice a year at best. I let my hair down, I go wild, and I eat some hot dogs. So I'm doing it big. So excited, I'm like tearing up a little bit right now. I also grabbed the brioche hot dog buns from Aldi, which look super delicious. So I'm gonna eat those for my next meal. And with still making sure I get in some health, I made this salad up last night, which is just baby cucumbers, organic grape tomatoes, bell peppers, and a little bit of olive oil, pepper and sea salt mixed in and chilled. So I'm going to have probably like a big serving of this, fill up half my plate with my veggies, and then enjoy my hot dogs. And also, are you guys team relish? Because I feel like it's not really a hot dog if you don't have some sweet relish up in there. So yeah, I'm very excited for this meal. I know it's not super dietitian-y and healthy, but I'm making it work, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you gotta do that sometimes. Jason can quit hating on my wieners. He's being a hater today. Telling me I'm being weird. I'm not weird, you're weird. Why are you smiling over there? Not saying nothing. Huh? Missing out, Jay. That brioche bun is everything. The wiener tastes nice too. Get out of here.
You deep throating wieners. You deep throating wieners.
Mm-hmm. Gotta keep the love alive. I'm so happy right now, I'm tearing. So good. Try a bite.
No, they're disgusting.
No,
I don't want
they're not.
mechanically separated chicken. I do not.
It's turkey.
I don't want mechanically separated turkey. The number one ingredient.
It's better than pig's butthole. Wait, check out our matching hoodies. Aw, we're adorable.
Adorbs.
So adorbs. I look so short next to you. All right, guys, as I mentioned earlier, I am continuing my mini cut. So I guess it's still a mini cut. It's gonna be about 2 months long, I would say, because I wanna take it till the end of June, but it got me thinking, for those of you who've been following along with the series, some of you have been doing a mini cut as well. Some of you are about to enter a weight loss phase, and a common question I get asked is, where do you go from there when you end a cut or a mini cut? Do you just start gaining weight again? Do you just go back to regular calories? Do you quit tracking? What do you do? It can be really confusing for people. So there's a few different options. If you are ending a cut, for what you can do, I'm gonna give you kind of my strategies for what I like to do for my own self and for my clients. So when ending a cut, you're hopefully gonna have some data in terms of what your average caloric intake has been, what your protein, fats, carbs have been during that time frame, and also maybe body measurements or daily weigh-ins, progress pictures, etc., to be able to kind of correlate the two with how you've been responding. So when you're ending a cut, the one thing that I think is key is that you don't just stop everything you were doing. You don't just stop taking progress pics. You don't just stop going to the gym. You don't just stop making good, healthy food choices, right? You know, the whole point is to continue those behaviors that are hopefully now ingrained into your lifestyle, that they're just part of your lifestyle, right? So you don't want to stop doing any of that. In terms of kind of transitioning out of your cut, couple areas to play around with. We've got your nutrition, number one, and number two, we have your workouts. So in terms of workouts, my personal preference when ending a cut is to maybe start to pull back in on the cardio a little bit, depending on how much I'm doing, how many HIIT sessions versus steady state. I personally like to pull back one HIIT session first because I hate HIIT, although it's very effective. I just don't personally like it, so I usually pull back there first. So you can play around with cardio. You know, the goal is, when ending a cut, you don't want to just gain all the weight you lost back, right? You want to maintain the physique as well as you can. So you want to make small changes. So you don't want to just stop doing cardio, maybe pull back one session, as I mentioned. In terms of nutrition, you don't want to just make large changes there either. So the key with weight loss, with small, consistent changes, is the same for exiting your cut and maintaining a healthy weight, healthy body, healthy mind. So with nutrition as well, you're also going to want to make small changes there. My personal preference is to start to increase, depending on where your macros are at, if you're a female or male actually, if your fat got really low, I like to bump that up first, just because having enough fat in your diet is critical on so many levels, not only for your actual absorption of several vitamins that are fat soluble in the diet and need fat coming in order to absorb them, but that's also going to play into your hormone levels, your stress hormones, things like cortisol, things that regulate your appetite. So really making sure you're getting enough fat in the diet is key. So if that got really low, I may want to up that a little bit. And when I say a little bit, to quantify it for people, because you're going to say, well, how much is a little bit, Kara? Anywhere from 5 to 10 grams, depending on the person. I'm a smaller stature female. I would go about 5 grams a week for myself to kind of see how I'm responding. So that's the scoop on fat. Protein, I don't usually adjust during a mini cut or in regular life. I kind of keep the same amount of protein in my day-to-day life, even if I'm, well, I lie. I was going to say even if I'm not tracking, but I'll be honest, when I don't track, I'm usually very bad. Like, I'm not as good with my protein intake. But carbs are the other area to play with. I like to bump those up quite quickly, actually. Well, I say quite quickly, but for myself and for a lot of folks that I work with, I usually say about 20 grams of carbohydrates a week. So maybe your first week out of your mini cut, to make it a little bit more tangible for you guys, I might say up your fat by 5 grams, up your carbs by 20 grams, and take off one cardio session. During that week, continue as is with the rest of your training. Continue to do your weigh-ins, take your progress pictures, and see how you feel and see how you respond. Some folks may notice they actually lose weight in a period of reversing, if you will. When you're increasing the nutrition, decreasing the cardio, sometimes your body really responds very well to that change. So you want to kind of keep a close eye on it, because if that's the case, if you start to lose weight as you're adding in more food, I would bump the food up that much quicker. I wouldn't necessarily wait a full week to bump up the food. I gotta take a drink of water. I didn't know I was gonna talk that much. Let's get a little thirsty up in here. Eat your watermelons. So that's just an example for how to handle it. And I would go week by week assessing what you're doing. Again, as any of us say, it's going to depend on the individual. I know that's a very generic response, but that's just kind of how you have to handle these types of situations. It's going to depend on the person and how lean they got. It's going to depend on how much you really cut your macros by, how much cardio you were really doing, and the progress that you saw during that cut. So very, very individualized. You can very much so do it yourself, or you can work with a coach to kind of reverse out of things if you feel like you need that support. Some people struggle if during their cut they felt so restricted and deprived. Once they start adding food back in, that's where sometimes folks struggle with issues with binging and overeating. Even though your macros are higher, that's where sometimes they can start to struggle with that. And then you, in your head, you start to feel really bad, disappointed, shameful, etc. So if you've run into that scenario, I do highly suggest reaching out to a registered dietitian, a doctor, someone to speak with about what you're going through. But again, the goal for a reverse or coming out of a cut, maybe it is to go into a lean bulk phase though and gain weight. I should mention that. Everyone's goals are going to be different, right? So for myself, when I exit my cut, I'm not necessarily going to be like looking to lean bulk, because that's just not necessary at this stage in my life. I'm not really trying to bulk, but I would like to reverse an effort to kind of get my calories back up, gain a few pounds, that's cool, but kind of see where I can level out in terms of my maintenance and how high I can get my calories. And it's just good to do that if you're someone that has dieted on and off, to really see what your maintenance level is at. Think about it. So many people diet their entire lives. They're chronically dieting. They're chronically overeating, undereating, trying this diet, not eating this day to make up for it, fasting the next. If you never allow yourself to just eat consistently, get in enough food, let's see how much food you can really eat. That can do wonders for your body. And so many of us don't ever do that. And I see folks who get nervous to even try higher macros because they've never eaten that much before. But I encourage you guys, if you've never gone through a reverse, and it's not always easy, I've mostly done it after preps, but it's good to do it in regular life as well. So I'm excited to kind of keep going with this cut, see where I can go. I'm super happy with how things are looking. How things are looking right now. We're good with that. But I do want to kind of just see how things go the next month. I'm going to take it through the month of June. And then once I do start reversing things, I'll definitely share that with you guys if you're interested in that. So I hope this chat was helpful. I just wanted to kind of give some advice for those of you that are looking to end your cut right now. If you have any further questions, be sure to comment below. And I do my best to respond to all your questions and comments. So, hey. Weird ending. I feel like I'm kind of cheating in this full day of eating by not showing you the prepared meal. But wait, there's no rules. This is my channel. I can do whatever I want to do, right? So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to eat for dinner, but I'm not going to film it after I cook it just because it's getting late and I don't know. That's all I got. So
Jason wants to finish this up.
That's true. Jason does the editing, so it's not only my time, it's his time as well. But I'm going to eat a watermelon. I'm not going to eat this whole thing. I don't know why I just said that. I'm going to eat some watermelon. It's Memorial Day. I feel like I should. It sounds juicy, delicious, refreshing, and hydrating. So I'm going to numb on some watermelon once Jason cuts it up for me. And then I also have here some grass-fed ground beef. I don't always buy the grass-fed because in total transparency, I actually prefer the flavor, taste, and texture of non-grass-fed. I don't know why. Everything else, I love organic, grass-fed, whatever, all the healthiness, but I really actually prefer non-grass fed, but I noticed it's better for me. So I am gonna have some of this tonight, and I think that's gonna be it. That's kind of gonna round up my macros pretty good for the evening, I believe. And yeah, that is my full day of eating. As always, I hope you guys find these videos helpful. I like to put in the disclaimer that I never intend for you guys to eat exactly like me. You are only seeing a teeny tiny snapshot of how I eat in my entire life, but I do hope that it gives you some tips, tricks, meal ideas, and motivation. So thank you guys for joining me and hanging out with me during this video. Love you all. I hope you all are doing well. Comment below how your mini cuts are going, if you're ending them or continuing with myself. And I'll see you guys in the next video.